Thank you so much. How are you anyway?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, as good as you can be.
Yeah, I know.
It's lockdown. I live in London, so it's obviously with the rest of the country, it's so strict at the moment. So you just gotta stay put and do what you can with the time you have.
Literally. What is it like in London? Is it like empty?
It's you wouldn't actually really think that there's a pandemic on. Like you can definitely tell the streets are a bit quieter, but I think the whole thing with everyone in London is I think everyone's just cracking on, and
Yeah.
they've all got um stuff they're doing, places to be still. And I think the mentality of a lot of people, because there's a lot of business people here, like, everyone's trying to keep going the best they can.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's nothing to do, so just kind of like sat here like until we can go out.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's looking like April time is
Yeah,
it's going to be. So,
yeah. How has COVID kind of impacted like your music and everything like that?
um, so it's from literally, he's a puppy, so he's running everywhere at the moment.
How old
So,
is
he's, how old is he? Just over 4 months.
That's so
His
cute.
little Yorkie pom called Simba. There he
Hello.
is.
Oh, Simba, that's so cute.
He's a little menace. We're hoping as I hope he really behaves for the interview. Literally, as soon as the interview starts, what does he do? He runs upstairs.
He's like, I want to
um,
take the spotlight.
he does. He always does. Instagram lives as well, TikTok lives. He always seems to
Oh,
take the
really?
center of attention at the moment. But yeah, no. From a music point of view, like, because I've got this free time, because I know as I'm an artist as well, but I'm really the thing I'm most passionate about is producing, and I luckily that hasn't really been put on hold because you can do so much online now.
Yeah.
I'm still working with artists. I'm still in the studio. I'm still writing, of course. Trying to do social. I have taken a step back from social media at the start of the year just because I wanted to focus on the producing side. But yeah, like COVID hasn't really affected the art stuff too much, other than the obvious, which is gigging.
Yeah,
I'd say.
of course. Yeah. Kind of like where do you find your inspiration now you are in COVID and like lockdown and
My inspiration is that um, for like music making or just the motivation.
yeah.
Like, so I'd say like I don't know. I feel like because this year, I feel like because I'm 25 years old, that's quite. It's one of the numbers. Like, how the hell am I 25 this year? Like, what?
Yeah.
So I think this year especially, I think with 2020 and how I think 2020 is my inspiration because how unproductive it was. And in the first lockdown, not even gonna lie, I think I wasted it making silly little TikToks, waste of time,
We all
which taught
did,
me
didn't we?
nothing. So I think for this lockdown this year, the thing that's really motivated me is the lack of stuff I achieved last year.
Yeah.
I think more than anything. So I
Okay.
think my motivation is my lazy self.
Yeah.
Don't want to be that.
Oh gosh, you've been lazy.
uh,
So kind of like just tell me a bit about yourself, like tell us about yourself.
so yeah, my name is Joe Gautrey. I'm a 24-year-old singer, songwriter, and producer based in London, UK. Um, my artist style is pop.
Yeah.
Dabbling this year, dabbling a bit more into the acoustic side and chill side of pop music. And from a producing point of view, I am a all subgenres of pop music producer, and I work with artists in all kinds of subgenres of pop music.
Wow. That's so good. So what was like when you were kind of growing up, what did you listen to? Did you listen to like pop music or
So the first two CDs I ever got was a Busted CD and a Queen CD.
love that?
So, but I was brought up on bands a lot. And I think I never actually really like. I used to listen to like my CDs. I had all greatest hits of like stuff like ABBA, Queen, Busted, Stereophonics as well for my stepdad. But then when I got to an age where I got my first, I got an iPod, I got an iTunes account, I started really pushing the boat out. I had every single McFly album. I think
Oh
that
yeah,
was
I did
my
the same.
teens. Big McFly fan, and I think that's what led me. Eventually, the first thing I ever did in the industry was in a pop rock band influenced by McFly. But then as I grew older, I think I started listening to everything.
Yeah.
Um, but I love 80s music. I love the Beatles as well. and modern day, I think Lauv and Charlie Puth are probably my two favourites if I had to sum up my sort of music I listen to.
Yeah, I love Charlie Puth. Do you kind of get inspiration from them as well? So do you kind of listen to their music and kind of try and make it your own?
So it's interesting because I think I like Charlie Puth just edges Lauv for me,
Yeah,
but I've always felt like Charlie Puth's got such a distinct way that he produces, and his sound is so unique. And I feel like I've never been able to take influence off it from my own music,
yeah,
but I have more so Lauv. So I think I understand Lauv's style of production a lot more. And I think as I was learning how to produce, I think I learned off his music. So that's ended up with my style of music being, well, the way I produce is in a similar way to him. So
yeah.
I'd say Lauv is probably the bigger inspiration overall.
Oh, yeah, I like him too. Okay, so when you're a writer, what's kind of your favorite song? Like, what's your favorite song that you've ever written? It could be unreleased or released.
My favorite song, wow. I think my favorite song at the moment was probably a song called Love Again,
Yeah.
which I released last year. And I wrote that song like 2 years ago. And I remember when I always wanted to release it, but a couple people who were helping me out at the time, they said that it maybe wasn't the strongest song I had, but I
Okay.
still loved it. So I was like, okay. So I sort of shelved it. And then when I was going through a phase last year, when about I think after June time, I was wanting to release loads of songs which had backlogged up. I revisited Love Again, and I changed it up a bit, and I loved it even more. And
Cool.
ever since then, it's just been the song that I've liked the most, and it's good because it's one of my most streamed songs. So
Wow.
um, from a listener point of view, so I'm happy that it people listen to it because that's the one that probably means the most.
Yeah, the streaming and everything's come so big as well. So kind of like first song you ever wrote, do you remember what song you first ever wrote or
Uh, First song I ever wrote was in school
okay.
as part of a compositional component in music GCSE, and I cannot tell you how it goes. I cannot remember it. I just remember being into the small little studios. I went to Robert Smythe Academy in Leicester, or
Oh
Market Harbour in Leicester, and yeah, it was an awful song. That's all I can say. It was awful, but you've got to, nothing's great straight away. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
you
that
got
was
to
the
kind of
first song.
start.
The first song I've got documentation of is probably a song. Oh, what's it called? But it's a piano ballad, um, and I cannot remember the name of it. But I've got a demo of it. I know that it's somewhere in one of my many hard drives.
Do you think you'll ever release that song or is that just
I might do. I've been listening to a lot of Phineas recently,
oh
and I
yeah.
like the sort of production he's doing. So that's sort of inspiring me for a song that I want to release this year. So I feel like that could be the song that I revisit because it needs to be
Oh,
a piano ballady song. So we'll see. It might get released.
that's exciting. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about your new single Wrong.
Mhm.
So what was the inspiration behind that song?
The inspiration behind Wrong was probably how one is like the how toxic social media is, and some days I'll go on stuff like Twitter and you'll see horrible comments, stuff like that, and you just sort of cringe. Oh, really? Like, come on, like it's awful. And also like the whole way that I think social media affects people's mental health. Like I think especially now with the amount of people who actually want to become influencers,
Yeah.
and I feel like once they have that in their head, they start looking at the numbers a lot more,
Yes.
and that's justification for how they're doing in life is by how many likes they're getting or how many followers, or like. And I feel like it's that both of them things together basically is the idea behind the message of Wrong.
Yeah.
But it's all wrong. It's like a wrong way to think about it.
The wrong way to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you like? Because obviously it's an acoustic, isn't it? So what made you want to do an acoustic version?
I've been wanting to do acoustic versions of most of my songs,
Yeah.
but I just haven't got around to it because the problem is I never stick around with PR for one song. I always think, oh right, what's the next song I can release now? What's the next song I
Yeah.
can make? Because I make songs based if as soon as I'm inspired to make a song, like I was, oh, I'm 100% in that now. But this time around, I thought I'm not going to release any more music this year. I released Wrong in November, and I thought
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a step back. I'll make an acoustic version because I haven't done one in a while. And I think it'd be nice to have something which is a bit more chill because everything's like big production. I think I've only got one other acoustic version of a song, and that was With You. But I would like to have every single song I release with an acoustic version now. So I think Wrong was getting me in the habit of starting to do it more because it
Yeah.
brings out a different side of your music.
Yeah, exactly. It's like more chill and it's more
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, so when did you start writing Wrong? Was it a long time ago or?
Wrong. Actually, I remember I only started writing it 2 weeks before I uploaded it. To
Oh,
be,
quick.
yeah. Wrong had a very quick turnaround. I think I always had an idea of a sort of song, and I wanted to, like, once you got the song and the message, okay, I want to write a song about this, and then I think I drew up a few reference tracks. Was like, okay, I want the song to have a culmination of some of the characteristic of these songs, and I think it all just clicked. Which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like, there's some songs which take ages to make. This one just wasn't one of them. It was came out quite quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was about 2 weeks, I think, from writing to finished the production.
Wow, such a quick turnaround.
It was, yeah.
So obviously, like your songs about social media, the toxic. Would you ever say like that's from your personal experience? Like, have you ever kind of looked at the numbers and been like, well, that didn't do as well, or
Yeah, like I think everyone's lying if they haven't looked at numbers at one point in
yeah,
life and been unhappy. Like there was times when there's because especially when you're an artist, that sort of thing is quite important because you want people to be constantly engaging because otherwise, like sometimes you get to that headspace where you're like, what's the point in keep going if no one's going to listen to the music when I release it? Because as fun as it is, you've got to make a living out of it.
yeah,
And I've spoken to many artists who've been in the same position. It's one of them things where you get yourself down and you start looking at everything. You think, I don't get this many numbers. I don't get as many numbers as this artist. Or
yeah,
like talking from an artist point of view, maybe not a normal person who doesn't promote music, so maybe doesn't have as much of a reason to get loads of likes. But yeah, I just feel like it can be really bad because then you just think you get obsessed with the fact that my life's on here,
yeah,
and if I don't have this many numbers on my tweets for how many followers I've got, my career isn't a success and everything's downhill.
yeah,
And yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
yeah.
It is.
Do you ever kind of get advice from other like artists kind of in your followers?
Um, so I've got a couple mates who make music. Do you know Tristan Maxted?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I'm good mates with him. And we
yeah,
we are always talking about music, and obviously because it's something that we both sometimes he'll go through it. Like you get that where you just don't have the motivation for it, and I think we both just like sort of when you brought up, it's just that you just say it's just one of them things. It just happens. Like the sooner you accept that, sometimes you're just gonna feel like that. Like you sort of feel like, okay, it's one of these days, not much. But yeah, like I think every artist goes through it. Maybe not as other artists are as comfortable talking about it because you sort of always want things to be like fine and dandy and great. But it is hard, especially this year with the lack of gigging, and just streams of income.
yeah,
Like it must be frustrating for a lot of artists out there
yeah,
that everything just seems to be on the down.
yeah.
But it's just getting through it.
Exactly. Kind of going on to that motivation, how do you find the motivation like when you are feeling like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this?
Um, I feel like if I have like a lazy day, I think to be honest, today's been quite an unproductive day for me, not gonna lie. But I think you go to bed sleeping on it, and then the
Yeah,
next day you're sort of like, right, okay, that was really frustrating that nothing got done yesterday. I think you just got to set yourself a standard. Like one of the things I love to do is make a to-do list
yeah, I
because
love.
sometimes you get a bit clogged up on like, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to achieve with this day?
Yeah,
Um, and so yeah, a to-do list every day. I didn't make a to-do list today, which is funny how today was so unproductive. So I think that says it all really.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so to-do list for tomorrow. And I like to take I like to make I never plan further than a month.
No.
at the moment, especially because I'm trying to get a lot more music producing work in as well as
Yeah.
artist. You don't think, oh, if I do this today, by the end of this year, with this, like, no, I think like what you want to achieve by the end of today, this week, and then how that's going to affect your month. Because I feel like that with lockdown, you don't want to look too far in the future.
No,
And I
I
think
don't know.
lockdown's given a different perspective how you shouldn't always, like, it's good to plan ahead, but sometimes you should take every month as it comes. And I think that's what's been helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so going back to Wrong, how did you record it? What was the recording and writing process like? And what was your favourite to do?
So I started the song, I made the beat first.
Yeah.
So I laid down, it was that bass, that bomb, 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 bomb. Like, and I just put that in and I laid it with some drums and then basically just build the song around that. I always build a song around the chorus. Sometimes I write the song first, then do an instrumental over the top, and then sometimes it's the other way around. This time it was instrumental first, then write lyrics over the top of it. And always when I do the instrumental, I always build around the chorus. So I just layer and layer loads of ideas up. And then once you got this chorus, you sort of just split it all out.
Yeah.
And then after you've done the chorus, the song comes together very quickly because all the ideas are in that chorus.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. What was your favourite part of, like, was it recording or the writing?
probably the recording because it went so smoothly.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
it got a little bit more tricky when you had to put melody over top because you're so happy. I was so happy with what I'd made. I was like, oh, great. Now I've got to try and think of an equally good vocal line to go over the top of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably the making of the backing track was the best bit this time.
Okay, that's interesting. What was your favourite lyric, if you could choose?
Favorite lyric is probably the first part of the second verse. How's it go? I need to remember how it goes now.
No pressure.
So why do people always find the line and cross it from time to time? War of the words online.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, just because like obviously because I feel like on social media everyone knows where the line is, what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna say it anyway because I want to annoy someone. I'm out to like you're just out to get someone or you're angry at something, so you just feel like you just want to vent it.
Yeah.
And then war of the words online because a long time ago before social media, if you had a quarrel with someone, it would normally be face to face and you'd fight it out there. Then maybe like in a park, and I don't know. But nowadays, it's just anyone's got beef with someone. It's all indirects online, bombard, like literally shots fired constantly online, and then maybe it comes out in tweets, and everyone drags in and just like tries to get justification from the people who follow them, like, oh, this person did, blah, 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 blah. I'm so this, and that, and the other person like, it's literally war of the words. Like,
Oh, especially during lockdown, it's just like the whole
oh no.
timeline. It's just arguments. Okay, so what do you want people to take away from the song?
I think the main thing to take away from a song is like really like people shouldn't think that their online presence should be justification for their relevance to
Yeah.
people or just in like life in general. Because like you don't want to live in the world of social media because that's not actually real life. Like you step out your door, there's going to be no one tweeting or saying anything. Like, there's so much more out there. Like you think about everything, like you think your life revolves around. It's just a little like this,
A little phone,
a little phone, and you think like like not to get too deep, but like say like if you were I don't know like something bad was to happen,
yeah.
and it's like oh like you wouldn't die thinking like oh at least I had 50,000 followers on this. Like you'd be
Yes.
thinking oh I wish I'd seen this, wish I'd been there. So like
Yeah.
that's
Because I think as well, like wherever you are, like a party or a holiday, you don't really take the memories in because you just want to capture it or you want to do that, and it's so different to when it used to be.
Because the main, like, I think one of the main reasons I wrote this song was like one of the things I always think and talks about my mates today. Because obviously, like I grew up, I didn't get my first phone till year 8, and that was like a brick, and that was only so I could, when I went to my dad's for the weekend, I could talk to my mum if I needed to.
Yeah.
And if not, I didn't get my first proper phone till probably about year 9, end
That
of
was
year
like
9.
when I got my first iPhone in year 9.
I didn't get an
What, mine had a
iPhone till sixth
BlackBerry.
form.
Mine was
Yeah, I had a BlackBerry. They were so
BlackBerry.
good.
BBM.
BBM. Yeah. BBM took up the whole of my year 10, 11, but I didn't get an iPhone till I went to college.
Yeah. I think mine
And
was 11 actually, but I could be wrong.
and the whole thing with that is because obviously, because I've got a sister who's in year 9 now, and her
Oh,
brother's gone to college. Like they're, I think year 7 to year 11, like when you don't have phones. Like, I remember I used to go out all the time. Used to meet my mates. Like it wouldn't be like text, but I'll meet you here. It would be like, oh, I'll meet you at 9 o'clock in the center of town. And there's just that level of trust that you just people just be there, like cycling around, kicking a football round till the sun literally went away and it's pitch black and you couldn't see the ball anymore.
yeah.
And nowadays, people just sit at home and like Snapchat, and that's how you spend your weekends, just talking to each other. I mean, okay, at the moment you can't meet up, but
No.
pre-lockdown, like like you don't see people at that age really like hanging out. I mean, you do, but most of the time they're up to something, up to
Yeah.
something.
Or they're on their phone, not talking.
Yeah, they're on the phone. So yeah, that's I think that as a whole is probably why I wrote wrong.
Yeah. And obviously, as a social media as a pro, that's obviously helped your career, like building up kind of like a presence on social media. So do you kind of limit yourself to social media? Like obviously you took that break, but do you kind of limit yourself and be like after this time or
So I always be the first to admit I do think everyone has bad tendencies. My bad tendencies is I just will waste time in my day just
yeah,
scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok just for the sake of it.
yeah,
When there's so much other stuff I could be doing, but I just sit, especially when I've got all this time in the world. Sometimes you just sit there and you're just glued, and then you can never actually give an explanation to why is you get your phone out at a certain point.
yeah.
And when someone said, "Why are you always on your phone?" You generally you don't really have an answer for that because it's just something that becomes
It's like
part of you. Like,
attached to you.
I literally try to stay off TikTok. TikTok is the worst. You
Do you know?
go on TikTok and wow, you'll be next thing you know, it's 3 hours later.
Yeah, I've literally done that, and I'm like, I should go to bed. But there's no
Yeah,
ending. It's
that's
just
the thing.
loads of
It's the
content.
constant feed. And the thing is, you'll get to a point where, like, on Instagram says you're all caught up.
Yeah,
If you TikTok, you'd be scrolling down and you're all Instagram and you've seen everything before, but I'm gonna scroll through it again just in case. Like,
yeah. Just in case it's like they've changed it or something.
yeah, like I
Wow.
definitely think 2021 is something I'm definitely trying to work on, especially as I'm trying to market myself more so I don't need to rely on social media because it is exhausting.
It is.
Like, I wouldn't even say I have a big following. So I don't feel like there's a huge amount to manage. Like someone who's got 100,000 followers, like wow, good luck to them trying to
Yeah.
keep it on social media. But it is something that is exhausting. Like at the moment, I'm trying to get my Spotify following up a bit more because
Yeah.
this is one of the things. Like I'm taking the pressure off trying to market on the socials. If everyone who wants to listen to my music can be on Spotify already and get a notification. So
Yeah.
I'm going through my Twitter and individually, and I've been doing this for every release. Is another reason. Every time I release a song, I individually message everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you not that you've got to because if they listen to the song, it's really nice to reply to them. But then you've got to reply to everyone who are
Yeah.
like because I used to have an account with 9,000 followers on Twitter,
Oh my
and that got blocked because I did a cover, which is Peak Times, and I literally just did a cover and then
no.
right. But my new account, I've got I think 1,300. So
Yeah.
every time a song comes out, individually message 1,300 people. It normally take about 6 hours spread over a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then another couple of days after that, replying to everyone. So this year, I don't want to do that because that, for me, it seems like an unhealthy habit to get into.
Yeah.
So I'm just, right now I'm doing one more message to everyone explaining how last year I sent music. This year, if you want to follow me on Spotify will do the rest. So
Yeah, because I feel like
it
when you
gets,
reply to one person, you have to reply to every single other person. So then you feel bad.
because it's nice because like you want to be respectful because if they're listening to your music, you want to give them the time of day
Yeah,
because
that's
it's really nice that anyone who takes the time to listen to your music. So like,
yeah.
it is so exhausting,
I,
and you think like you do sometimes think like, why do I do this? Like, especially if you message loads of people, but not as many people listen to the song this time, you lose the motivation, and then it goes back to that thing of numbers.
Yeah,
You feel like how you're feeling, justify like, oh, the numbers need to go up before I feel good about it.
yeah, 100%.
Um,
So what have your followers' reactions been to the song? Has it been
I
positive?
I definitely think this is definitely one of the most positive. Because I remember the song before. I think the song before was "I Miss My Friends," and that one
Yeah.
I just experimented a bit. It was a bit more chill. It wasn't for everyone. I'd put a huge amount of auto tune effects on my voice just because I was messing around, and I thought my voice actually kind of suited that creative auto tune sound, so I did it. So that one I think got mixed. Everyone on the whole liked it, but they weren't as pumped. And then Wrong, when I released that, I think everyone liked that a lot more,
Yeah.
and everyone enjoyed that. And
Oh,
it
that's
did. It was the most. I think it was the my most streamed song on the first day. It got over 1,000 streams on the first day, and I believe it got 5,000 streams in the first week, which is the most streams
wow.
I've had in a week as well on a song.
Yeah.
So technically, it's been my best song yet.
Wow, that's how was your what was your reaction to like that, seeing the numbers on the streams?
It's always really nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. Um, yeah, like, oh no, I was just happy because like I was like, because that's the reason why I release music so people can
Yeah.
listen to it. So when you see people listening to it, you're like, result. Um, you can always get like a rough idea of how many streams you could get based off your following. So
Okay.
I don't expect to get this better blow up and get 100,000 streams in the first
Yeah.
weekend. I don't ever think like that. I just think as long as like roughly the same amount of people listen to the last single listen again, then that means
Yeah.
that people are still interested and people enjoyed the last song, so they listen to the next one,
Yeah. Engaged
which
audience.
makes it think good. As long as people keep listening, I'll keep releasing.
Yeah,
So
that's exciting about that. Okay, so what is your favorite part about releasing a song, and how do you prepare to release the song?
my favorite part of releasing a song is probably the first day.
Yeah.
The first day is always really exciting. When you see people listening, and you can go on Spotify for artists and see how many people are listening live, staying up till midnight, and then yeah, like then I think the best part about it is that just the opening day and how I normally the process of releasing a song is obviously you got the song finished, the
Yeah.
artwork's made, all submitted off. Then I'll normally think about how I can bump up the streams a little bit. Sometimes, as I don't work with any PR companies at the moment,
Yeah.
normally because it costs a lot of money, and you think about how you can advertise yourself. I haven't been advertising the past couple of singles, haven't been pushing at all, so it's all actually been organic, which is why I've actually been happy with the amount of streams I got because I haven't pushed them at all outside of my following, which is really good. But normally, if I had a little bit of money to put behind the song, I
Yeah.
would look into making some ads, engaging
Okay.
ones, think about where I want to target uh, and on what platforms, because obviously even though you can be advertising a song, if you're advertising on song on Facebook, they may not go to your song, but you may get a new follower on Facebook. So
Yeah.
all that to think about. And other than that, then I think, do I want to see if I can get any radio stations, any bloggers on board, like usual stuff, just normal PR stuff. And then
Yeah.
the first day of the single is literally just messaging people, doing it all by hand, Instagram, Twitter, just message, letting everyone know that the single's out, posting on socials.
Yeah.
Which if you're a social media nerd and you like the numbers, it's very exciting to do because then like, but it is exhausting, like so
Yeah.
exhausting.
I bet. Just messaging everyone like, excuse me. Okay, so what other material are you now working on?
So the thing that I've been probably putting 100% into this year is my music producing side because that for me has always been the goal. The music artist stuff does go hand in hand,
Yeah.
but I think it's always been music artist has been an avenue to sort of display what I can do and act as sort of like a portfolio. But this year I've been doing producing and another new thing as well of mine is top lining.
Oh,
So I'm currently working with a couple of DJs and it's a new experience for me. I have a good friend who I talk to on and off on Instagram is called Bertie Scott.
Okay.
He is absolutely killing the top line game at the moment.
Oh wow.
Absolutely killing it. He's released, I think, I can't remember how many songs he released last year, but he's got nearly 300,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
And the latest one he did, or one of the latest ones he did, a Dancing in the Moonlight,
Oh, okay.
so EDM version. It's got over 1 million streams. Like, he's absolutely killing it. Which made me think I want to do that. So I started hitting up some DJs at the start of the year,
Yeah.
sending my work, and there's a couple that I've been top lining for, and we're both vibing the work. So I do have something coming out with a DJ soon, maybe 2 tracks.
Oh,
But I
that's
don't know yet. It's still early days. And I also didn't top line featuring on an artist track, which is actually coming out this Friday,
oh, okay.
with an artist called NH. And
Right.
he's a German artist, music producer, and I'm featuring on one of his songs.
Exciting.
Yeah, so I'm doing that, and then I'm also I've currently working with 4 artists on some of their new music.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year they'll be releasing a lot of songs, which I would have. Oh, you won't see me on there, but I'll be in the credits.
Oh wow, that's exciting. Like proper like 2021 has kicked off to a good start for you then.
But the main thing is, obviously, because I said, like, I've taken a little bit of a step back on socials. I'll do the odd live stream stuff, but if you go on my Instagram, my Twitter, you'll see I'm now promoting myself as a music producer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I want to use these socials not only to like promote my music, but if, say, I've made a song with an artist and they release it, I want to be able to help them out as much as I can. So I'm hoping all the people who follow my music will go listen to their music when it's released.
Yeah.
As well.
Get more people on board with it. Okay, so where can you stream Wrong?
Wrong, you can stream on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, the lot. I really want to embark in the next couple of weeks on an iTunes raid, because I didn't promote iTunes at all. So especially iTunes, if anyone wants to purchase an iTunes, it'd be really interesting to see what we can do with Wrong on there. But Spotify and Apple Music, obviously, they're always, I think, the main ones.
Yeah, kind of everyone really knows that and streams that.
Yeah.
Most. Yeah. Okay, let's do some random questions then. So what's the most recent song you've listened to?
So look, I can tell you, I've opened Spotify. Best Friend by Rex Orange County.
I love that song. That's always stuck in my head.
I'm obsessed with Rex Orange County. They're so good.
Such good music.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so if you were stuck on a desert island, what would be the 3 things that you'd take with you?
I'm stuck on a desert island.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 things. Well, normally everyone only says 1 thing, so
I know,
I actually
but you know what I'm gonna have to like.
I feel like I'm spoiled for choice. Is it cheating to say like a boat, a GPS?
Yeah, that's cheating. You're not trapped. you can get anywhere.
Wow. Probably my dog, my girlfriend, and an unlimited amount of food.
That's such a good one.
And probably build a really nice sort of like villa, and just turn the island into just a little resort. There you go, sorted.
That's perfect, sorted. You got your plans if we ever get trapped on a desert island.
Well, I won't get COVID. It'll be
yeah, that's true.
We'll be in complete control of the borders. Won't have to rely on Boris.
Maybe we should all just get stuck in a desert island. Just free from everywhere. Okay, so what was the last thing you searched on your phone?
Last thing I searched on my... Is this on... What is this on? Just on
like the internet or whatever you want to do. That's fine.
So the last thing I searched, current thing I've got up is actually this: Prime Minister announces national lockdown. But that's because it was part of a TikTok. I had to screenshot it. So
okay, I've got like this Donald Trump thing up. I'm like,
oh, nice, yeah.
It's always coming through, and I'm like, oh, let's read that. See what he's doing now. So
well, he's out today. He's getting the boot.
Oh, literally, he's gone at like 1 o'clock. I think he came out the White House and was like, I ain't going to like Joe Biden's thing or anything. So
yeah, bitter, so bitter.
Okay, so your dream place to perform?
My dream place to perform. I've always said that I would be so happy if I could just even sell out Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah, I think that's
I
everyone.
think it's such a nostalgic venue.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that obviously, like, if you can sell out Wembley, you're doing very well.
yeah,
But I do think Shepherd's Bush, I think, it's always been
yeah.
something of a target.
So like a starting point, and then you
Yeah.
go up and up and up. Okay, so last question is, what's your 5-year plan? Quite hard.
My 5-year plan. Wow. So yeah, my 5-year plan hopefully sees me in 5 years making music full time.
Yeah,
That's the end goal.
yeah,
The journey consists of firstly just starting with this year, or maybe the next 2 years is really starting to build a network with artists and produce with them. And I also want to get to a stage where basically I can just as I said, just make music
music.
and that pays the bills,
Yeah,
and I'll be very content. And that will be hopefully through a mixture of artist and producing. And if the producing goes really well, that gives an avenue to put less pressure on the artist stuff, and the artist stuff goes very well, then the producing
got
stuff gets less pressure on it as well. So
exactly. Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much for talking to us today.
no worries.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been a good chat. So yeah, I hope you like the questions. Sometimes what I do is I like hate asking the questions. 'Cause I'm like, is that a question I should ask? Is that the questions that kind of thing? So now I'm glad you like the
It's
question.
really good. I really like. Yeah, it's really good questions. It's all like current relevant. It's good. It's keeping Wrong going as well, because
Yeah,
Wrong was starting to just.
for
If I hadn't
sure.
released that acoustic version, like I would have forgotten what the last song I released was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I just thought, because obviously I saw your new single was out, and I was like, oh, that'd be really good. Then you can push the single too and form your
Yeah,
own words and stuff.
but technically, I should say technically, I do have another song coming out this Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the one with an age. It's called One of Those Nights.
Brilliant.
And the reason why I was so excited to jump on this track is it's actually quite similar to my style of music.
I was just about to ask that. Is that similar to your
It
style?
is similar, yeah. It's really good. It's a really catchy pop song. Yeah. I don't want to give too much away. You can it is available to pre-save.
Okay.
It's in his bio, and I've been sharing it on my story, but I'll definitely be pushing that on Friday. So yeah, look out for that on Friday.
I'll link that down the pre-save thing as well, because I think this is going to go out tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm going to have a productive day. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to pre-save, leave the link to pre-save.
Wicked, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for
Yeah.
that one. I almost forgot about that. That was really bad.
We forgetting to do it on socials, and I'll be like, I'm
It's
sure you
good.
just said
But
this on Friday.
an age will be happy for me for promoting the song on here.
Yes,
Got to do what you can.
exactly. Got to push other
What's the
artists.
saying? Always plug. Always plug.
Always get your stuff out the clout.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for talking to me
No
today.
worries.
Yes.
All right, wicked.
Yeah. Stay safe
Oh,
and
you too. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Bye.